Standing firmly on your standards is a must. Standing firmly on your standards protect you from low-quality dating experiences. When you stand firmly on your standards, you will immediately find out who is in alignment with you and who is not. When you stand firmly on your standards, you won't relate to grown men who steps to you like grown boys. When you stand firmly on your standards, men with wrong intentions, men with wrong motives will quickly disappear from you. And that is the beauty of standing firmly on your standards. It clears out all the fakery and all the BS that is not in alignment with your standards. When you stand firmly on your standards, you open new doors for real men, good men, quality men who will respect you and your standards. Make sure you always stand firmly on your standards. Always. Be smart, date smart, choose wisely, Nat Nation. And remember, I told you.
If you love him or even like him more than he likes you, you are falling into a trap. This is where you see the ladies who have not been proposed to going on their one knee to propose to their gentleman. It's giving real masculine. And when you like him more than he likes you, you are falling into this energy of having to prove yourself, having to provide for him and yourself, and all kinds of other things that you really and truly do not want. So if there is any thought that I need to do this so he can love me, so he can like me, so he can want to be with me, cancel, abort mission. We're not doing that. There is a man who will love you for you just as you are, I promise. Good luck.
If you are currently talking to a man and you are not sure if that man is about to become your boyfriend, allow me to be the example that we will not ask a man, what are we? I repeat, we will not ask a man, what are we? The right man is going to ask you. He's going to ask you to be his girlfriend. If that man is meant to be your man, he is going to make you his girlfriend. Point blank, period, full stop. That's going to be your boyfriend. If you ask, why are we asking him? Because he's going to ask you. He's going to ask you. And if he doesn't, he's not your man. He's not your person. And this took me so long to get into my thick skull until the right person came along and asked me to be his girlfriend.
Hi baby, here are 5 of my most important tips to remember in the early stages of dating. Number 1, the bare minimum is called the bare minimum for a reason. Stop being so impressed by kindness, respect, reciprocity, compliments, etc. Number 2, there's nothing wrong with having a healthy amount of skepticism if you've just started dating someone. In fact, if you're someone that tends to be overly trusting of people prematurely, this can keep you level-headed. Number 3, the beginning stages of dating are by nature ambiguous, unpredictable, and can bring up a whole lot of relational anxiety. This is normal, you're not going crazy, but you are going to have to learn to tolerate it. Number 4, you do not have to prove to anyone that you are good enough, worthy of love, or valuable. You just are. Number 5, red flags aren't going to feel like red flags if you've been conditioned to believe that shitty behavior equals love. Get really honest with yourself if there are things that you really, really don't like early on in the relationship. Your mind might lie to you, but your body never will.
You're single until you're married. You live with your boyfriend, y'all have kids, still single. You call his mom, super single. You have joint account and he has stuff in your name, stupid and single. Don't be foolish and stop calling a man hubby who hasn't made you his wife. Stop lying to yourself and accept the fact that your bond with him is not as deep as you thought it was because he won't marry you. Stop lying to yourself saying you don't want to get married and it's just a piece of paper, but yet and still you live with the man popping out kids, pretending to be a wife. Make it make sense. Just say that you've accepted your role as a placeholder, better known as a long-term girlfriend. You have the potential to be a wife, just not his wife. He's going to string you along because you're convenient, but he won't ever commit to you because you're really not what he wants. Don't underestimate men. Men are very smart. He knows exactly what he's doing. That's why you're a long-term girlfriend. Be careful and don't be too comfortable because he'll leave you one day and marry a woman that he met for 6 months because she has standards, because she made him man up, because that's who he really wants. Be smart, date smart, choose wisely.
Okay, so here's some dating tips I'm going to give some of the girlies here. You can take it, you can leave it, but it's what's got me through some bad eggs to some good eggs. And this actually comes after my friend, a bunch of my friends will often send me the profiles, Tinder, Hinge, of guys they're talking to or guys they're potentially going to go on a date with. And they'll ask me for my true opinion, because I know I'm very good at reading profiles and I'm very good at reading between the lines. And this recently happened with a friend of mine, and I took one look at it and I was like, nope, absolutely unmatched, massive red flag. And one of the things she said to me is, she said that he asked her, what is your biggest red flag? What is something that's a non-negotiable for you? What's something you hate? Which, in theory, I understand the logic of asking this question, because it means you can get to know the other person and you can find out straight away whether or not you're compatible. But the problem is, a lot of men don't use it for this reason. A lot of men don't use it for the healthy reason of trying to find out we're compatible. A lot of men use it for the reason of, what do you not want? What will you not tolerate? So I can make sure to avoid it, pretend I'm not that way, and basically act like the perfect man you want. So basically to manipulate you. And I know this, and I learnt this several times the hard way, and now I've changed completely how I answer this question, if I answer it at all, and this is what I do. So let's say a guy says to you, what's your biggest red flag? What do you find really off-putting? What would you not date in a man? Rather than telling them the answer, I say, I have several things. There are a few things that for me are like big non-negotiables, but I like to let a person show me who they are rather than telling them. I just simply observe, I just simply see if we're compatible, and if we are, we are, and if we're not, great. Now, there's a reason why I do this, because one, it doesn't give the other person the opportunity to fool me. It doesn't give them the opportunity to start acting like the perfect man, so that I can obviously be convinced that they're this perfect person, and then for me to find out 6 months later it was all a facade. The other reason why I do this is because I want to see their response. Do they get moody? Do they get aggy? Do they end up getting frustrated with you for not giving that bit of information away? Or do they turn around and do something like, okay, fair enough, I rate that. A much more respectable answer, which shows me that actually the question originally was probably from a good place, and less likely to come from a place of manipulation. Again, you can never be sure, and my answer will still always be the same, but their response tells me a lot. Because the sad fact of the matter is, a lot of the time, lots of guys will ask you this sort of question to basically make a Build-A-Bear man. They will make themselves the perfect man for you, and you end up finding out the hard way in the long run, because the facade has to wear off at some point, right? The mask slips. But a lot of people do this. I've seen it happen with so many women, and it's happened to myself a lot when I was younger. So because of that reason, I decided to let the person show me who they are rather than them tell me who they are, because action speaks much louder than words, right? Now, the other thing I want to go over is look at how he treats his mum and look at how his dad treats his mum. Now, I'm not talking about guys that come from trauma. I'm not talking about guys who have got mum or dad issues the same way some of us women have got mum or dad issues. I'm talking the men that are in relationships where the mum and dad are still together. They still have the old-fashioned family dynamic where the whole family is still as one. I'm talking about those types of men. I'm talking about men who have still got the mum and dad's family dynamic, like whole family picture, right? I'm talking about the guys who, their dad's with their mum, so they're watching their dad set an example of how to treat women. How is the dad treating them, and how are you then learning to treat your mum? Because if a guy treats his mum like crap, it's probably because he's seen the dad treat the mum like crap. If a guy's treating his mum really well, it's probably because he's observed the dad treat the mum really well. So you get two things here. You get one, an observation of how the dad has raised him. That's a big thing in a relationship. And then two, how much of that has he taken on board? Has he watched his dad be a good man and then still chose to be a bad man to his mum? Or has he watched his dad be a bad man and still chose to be a good man to his mum? Because this treatment he gives his mother will be the same treatment he gives you as a wife or a mother later down the line. And of course, this is not a one-size-fits-all. It's not set in stone. This will not be the case for everyone, but it is a very, very good rough guide, because I definitely learn. And looking back on it now, and I think a lot of you, if you use your common sense and think about it, if somebody says to you, what do you not like? Of course, it's going to be really easy for them to just pretend they're not that thing. If you say what you do like, of course, they're then going to pretend to be exactly what you want to get what they want. Once I realised this, it made a massive difference to my dating game.